So this is not going to be just a speech. We are creating a platform, a system, so you can rely on a methodology that you can finally, you don't have to do guesswork anymore. Right guys, so today I deliver a speech at SLASSCOM, and the topic is about breakthrough in the new era. So I shared a concept, a vision, a philosophy. We had a short burst of time, about 25-30 minutes. And I'm presenting this entire speech for your knowledge, so please make the most of it. And let's go and enjoy the speech.
Ramindu has strong social media presence with over 100,000 followers and 4.7 million video views on YouTube. His online programs launched in August last year, and they have already impacted thousands of learners. With a bold mission for 2025 to 2030, he is committed to helping 100 organizations achieve a minimum of $100 million in revenue. So with this introduction, let's now welcome him up on stage. Put your hands together for Ramindu Randeni.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Are you Bowan? Let's try again. I must thank Zim for setting the platform. I thought I'm going to have a very have to start a whole different state, but he actually set the platform very well. So let's try again. Are you Bowan Hamoto? Much better. So කොහොමද දවස? It started in the morning, I think, by a speech of a legendary cricketer, Mahela Jayawardene. I think it's a really rich event. So well done for SLASSCOM for creating an event like this. Very quickly now, for those who have never seen me before, never heard me before, very quickly, I coach corporate leaders and entrepreneurs, sales teams. That's my day in and out. That's my bread and butter. That's my mission. Hence, we set a new target. When I said we're going to create 100 organizations who can bring $100 revenue each, not all together. We're looking at $10 billion. So this is not going to be just a speech. We are creating a platform, a system, so you can rely on a methodology that you can finally, you don't have to do guesswork anymore. So I have a very strong, powerful hands behind me who have been there and done that. And I've already had the discussion. I said, hey, this is my big mission. I want to bring this revenue to my country. Can you help? And they said yes. So let's begin. To break through to a new era, this gentleman, apparently an artwork by an Italian artist who showcased this fresh real banana on a duct tape affixed to a wall in an exhibition in Miami in 2019. And as ridiculous as it sounds, he said he wants $150,000 for this. And wait. So he called out for bidding, and guess what happened? He sold this thing for $5.2 million instead. And then the person who bought it was actually a cryptocurrency entrepreneur called Justin Sun, a Chinese entrepreneur. He bought it probably for a flex. I don't know what's his reason, but he bought it, and the bidding room, they charge $1 million more. So he ended up paying $6.2 million for this. Who here believes this is absolutely ridiculous? Who here believes that? Raise your hand. Obviously, it is. If you didn't raise your hand, I would ask a question. It is ridiculous, right? So my question is, guys, now you guys are doing noble jobs. You're not doing anything illegal. You're not doing drug dealing. You have a very legal business job. you have a righteous lifestyle. And my first ask is, guys, do not underestimate your product. Do not underestimate your service, your organization, your country, and very importantly, yourself. So if someone can sell something like that for a value like that, now look back, go back to your product and services, and I want you to, without a doubt, ask a premium value that you can possibly ask from your client. This is one of the things that I've been coaching most of the sales forces. I've coached so many industries. One of the biggest problem, as most of the CEOs, I've spoken about probably 30, 40 CEOs for the last few months, and 99% of them said, our biggest problem is our guys don't know how to close high value deals. On the surface, in a boardroom or anywhere in a corporate setting, we're all gonna raise our hands, say, when your boss or in your leadership team say, hey, next quarter, this is the target. We're gonna double our revenue. We're going to a new territory. We are expanding in Pan-Asia or global, etc., etc. Who here agrees? Everyone agrees. But few layers down, there are a lot of inner conflicts in majority of our guys. This is what I've been dealing with. Before I give them these sales and negotiation tactics, I had to work a lot about their mindset. So, am I worth it? Am I worth it? Meaning me, my organization, my country, my ethnicity, where I'm from. Am I worth that much of money? $100 million. Am I worth it? That question is there. So this is where it's absolutely important to dig a little deep into understand why this is happening. For example, now year 2000, from year 2000 to year 2020, in 20 years records showed that the wealth in this world has phenomenally grown over the last 20 years. About 14, some reports say 13-fold, McKinsey said 14-fold, whatever it is, it's a huge growth. There's so much of wealth that this world has never seen. There's so much of wealth around us. Yet we're complaining that there's no money in the market, the customers can't pay, etc., etc. So our biggest challenge, guys, when I dig into almost all the sales teams, is the way they see themselves. I need to take you on a little journey. I want you to listen attentively. One of the things that I really urge you to do is I'm taking you a little journey. It's about 25 minutes. My coaching programs go for 30, 40 hours. A day seminar goes about 10 to 12 hours. So I want you to really focus for the next 25 minutes. Put your smartphone, that's $1 billion product that you're holding, put it on silent mode, turn it around. If you respond to what's there, you're in someone else's agenda. Give this next 25 minutes to yourself. Because I'm going to take you a journey, and end of this journey, those who really paid attention, I'm going to mark this day as a catalyst for them to change the way they operated their business. And 1 year fast forward, I want you to tell Ramindu that speech is what made us change the way we do business. So please, I want your absolute attention for the next 25 minutes. So serendipity, anyone knows the meaning of the word? Serendipity. It's actually this picture is from Portugal to mark their adventurous journey to East. Because of what they did, they came from West to the East. It actually transformed the entire Europe, and they made a lot of wealth. So serendipity meaning luck in making unexpected and fortunate discoveries. Unexpected and fortunate discoveries. Even penicillin to microwave, apparently they have found or discovered by an accident. They're also called lucky accidents or happy accidents. So this part of the world, entire South Asia, is so entrenched to believe about luck in a whole different way. We are wrapped around with so much of superstitions. So you probably think, yeah, that's right. I mean, they are lucky. We are not. But wait, the psychologists have actually researched and found out for that to happen, you need to be sagacious, meaning the chance favors only the prepared mind. Even if you are in that lab when that scientist is doing an experiment, if your mindset is not prepared, you're not gonna notice that something remarkable is happening just before your eyes. So luck happens when your mindset is absolutely prepared and conditioned. So whatever the organization that I walk into, they say, what's the strategy? What's the strategy? Ramindu, we need strategy. We need tactics. Your mindset comes way before the strategies. Even if I hand you, here's a negotiation tactics that we used to close a $1 million deal, which we did in 2020 in August when Sri Lanka collapsed to a bottom when the president fled. We actually closed a $1 million deal. So those guys who I coached, they did that not merely because of this technique, because I conditioned their mindset over about 6 to 7 months of time to bring result without any preference. Meaning, if I have the economy, we can bring a result. If I have everything in order, when the government supports us, when there's no war, we can bring results. That's called a preferences mindset. But a champion, a real champion mindset is when you believe you're a champion by choice. Without my army, I'm gonna win anyway. So, for that change to happen in your mindset, there's a door need to be open inside of you. And that door is actually governed with invisible forces. Just think about for a second. This entire world is actually governed with lots of invisible forces. Oxygen is an invisible force. We can't live without it more than probably 3 to 4 minutes. We are dead. Yet, nobody has seen it in the naked eye. Gravity, radiation, even COVID, which hindered our entire growth, right, in economy. We never saw it in naked eye. So, the invisible forces that govern us, one of the most powerful invisible force that inside of you is your belief. Believe. Here's an example, a case study. This is a graph of solar usage in the world. All these multicolored lines that you see are the predictions by the World Energy Outlook predictions, who consist of all the experts of the energy usage, right? So, and this black line is what you see here is the actual growth of the solar usage. So in other words, all these predictions by the experts are remarkably wrong. There has been an exponential growth. Nobody have actually seen it. Why? Because humans are not naturally designed to think exponential growth. And they have found that in human behavioral studies. It's not natural for humans to think exponential growth. We are naturally inclined to think linear growth, step by step, incremental growth. You might do 100 million this year, and your next year's plan is 110 million. And the year 2 is 120, year 3 is 130, right? And you think it's progress. It's because that's how we are conditioned and geared to think. So this mindset of exponential growth is something that you have to really develop manually through manual thinking, coaching, transformation needs to occur before that exponential growth happens. And that happens around the world right now. And if you don't develop that in your team, in your organization, no matter what technology you have in your disposal, you're not going to see exponential growth. And you wonder how the other organizations actually did that. So, this cycle is what I want to introduce you. Take this as a gift. Most of the top organizations in the world, even some geographies like Silicon Valley, where they continue to produce new innovation, new technology, Germany, UK, all these countries, they hire experts for them to teach and coach this cycle. It's been there for a few decades now. It's still somewhat, or probably mostly novel to this part of the world. This is called believe and success cycle. Now, we all believe that we have amazing potential, right? I mean, growing up in this country and hearing that, okay, this country has so much potential, there's so much potential, there's so much potential. Decades have gone by, we're still saying there's so much potential. Even probably you're saying, I have more potential than this. I don't know why I'm not achieving that, but I have so much potential. Organization says that. But before that, the amount of belief you have determined about the potential is what actually going to tap into that potential. The amount of belief that you're conditioned to believe. And then you're going to tap into a potential. Then after that, you're going to take some action depending on how much you believed, how much you tap into that potential. With that action, you're going to create some result. When you produce some result, that's going to redefine your belief system again. As a consequence, you're going to take more action, more results, better belief, bigger actions, bigger results, and cycle goes on. And then people, organizations, entrepreneurs say, see, that's what I told you, we can do this. And the other side of the coin is you don't believe, you hesitate, you question, and you think, I can't do it, they can do it. You have so much of doubt, so you tap into very less potential, you take very less action, and as a consequence, you have very less results. Once you have very less results, mediocre results, then you're going to turn around and say, see, that's what I told you. This cannot be done. This cannot be done in this country. This cannot be done in this geography. We don't have this facility. That's what I told you. So that's a vicious cycle, and you're going to stuck in that loop forever. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Another term not very known in this part of the world, a self-fulfilling prophecy. Either you're going to say an empowering prophecy or a disempowering prophecy, like I said before. So you're going to say, yes, we can do this and we brought this result, or you're going to say, no, that's why I told you, this cannot be done. We went to the market, we failed. That's why I told you. We don't think that we can achieve it. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So ultimately, you will go as far as your mind will allow you to. It's not the technology. It's not the methodology. It's not the strategy. It's not the tactics. It's not your funding. It's not the facilities. It's not the expertise also. It's your mindset. Set that barrier to bring that revenue, growth, adaptability, everything that you said before that will govern by your mindset. As far as your mind will allow you to go. So, hence I say, seeing is not believing, believing is seeing. We have this thing now. අපි මේක කරලා බලමු. Let's plan and see. Let's try this and see. That's a very weak statement. You already lost more than 80 to 90% of the game. The moment you say, I don't know, man, let's try it and see. I hear that in boardrooms. I hear that in brainstorming. I hear that in every level of, in the corporate world, in the entrepreneurial world. So switch that. Believing is what's seeing. So do you believe? Figure that out first. like I said at the very beginning, am I worth it? Of course you are. We are all conditioned to believe otherwise. That's why I brought that example at the beginning. The potential is incredible. There's so much of capacity that we all have, so much of intelligence flying around the very room. But you have to believe that, you know what, we actually done enough. We suffered a lot, especially for the last 4 years. We actually suffered so much. It's our time to break through new plateaus, and we worth it so much more than we ever think that we can. Psychology before methodology. In your room, if you are going to start saying that, what's the strategy? What's the strategy? Just check, what's your psychology? What do you actually believe about this target? Do you actually believe that you can make it? When I explore, we found out, these are qualified people, by the way. When I explored all these engineers, accountants, and various professionals, they had so many inner conflicts, either spiritual, that's a big one in this part of the world, which I saw, either different aspects. They have different fears of losing their work-life balance, or they probably think they're not competent. I might lose my position if I venture out to this market. I might be better off staying in this market. There are so many inner conflicts. But on the surface, they say to the boss or the corporate leader, yes, let's go for it. And they're going to come back and say, sorry, we failed because of these reasons. And we all have to accept it because it comes in a very rational angle. That's why I said, check the psychology of your team, yourself first, and your team before you look out for the methodology. If you have conditioned your mind, you know what, we are making $10 million right now, but I'm absolutely sure that we have all the capacity to make $100 million in a couple of years. Why? Because we are worth it. Why? Because the other people are doing more than, probably less than 10% of our capacity, they're making so much more money than us. So therefore, we're going to make it. So come to a state like that, what I call a resourceful mindset. And then go out and say, okay, let's look out for a strategy or a methodology. Then you are guaranteed to figure it out. I'm not saying you're going to land on the first strategy. Yes, after that, you're going to land on the first strategy and you're going to make it. No. You might have to change your plans, your strategy, probably 100 times. But in a resourceful mind, guess what? You're going to find incredible avenues like no one has ever have in the history of time. So I believe we are actually in that state right now that we have to make that call. See, I was born, you were born in a country, and when we started hearing and learning or understanding the language, they said, this is a developing country, right? Diyunu wemin pavathina rata. I heard it when I was in the kindergarten, grade 1, all the way to the grade 13, and now many decades pass. So let's make a decision. You know what? For the next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, let's come up with strategies that we're going to change this game entirely. So we're going to go to our latter part of our life, being absolute heroes for the next generation who actually changed that destiny. So many countries have done it. South Korea is a fantastic example, and so many countries are actually doing it. Even Ethiopia has gone so far right now in so many industries. Indonesia crashed just like Sri Lanka, right? And they're doing extremely well. Bangladesh is doing extremely well. There are so many countries, there are so many emerging markets around the world. Like I said, there's so much of wealth around the world. So this is the best time in the history of time for us to actually step out and make that happen. So I want you to make that decision. You're not far away by making it a reality. That's why I said, we'll either find a way or make one. I want you to have that language. I want you to have that vision. without getting restricted by resources, facilities, without getting restricted by policies. I wanted to make that call as a leader. You know what? This is the target. This is where we want to go, and we will either find a way or make one. And who here feel that, yes, this is what we want? Raise your hand. Amazing. First of all, and well done for thinking like that and raising your hand. And I really want to acknowledge every single one of you for battling the last 4 years. I believe probably the toughest time probably in the history of Sri Lanka. As business owners, we had to battle with a lot of unseen challenges, starting with COVID. Actually, starting in 2019, right? So nearly 6 years from the Easter attack itself, and then COVID, and then the Aragalaya, the collapsing of the government. And so if you are still standing, if you're still surviving, well done. I want you to give an applaud to yourself for being alive so far. So well done, first of all. So, yeah, give a bit of an acknowledgement for you and for your team. It's been extremely hard time and we survived. But now it's 2025. I want you to let go. I want you to do this thing called let go. Let go of that past. And look forward to great times ahead. Like I said, do not put any preferences. If the government supports us, if the world economy, the geopolitics, forget all of that. Like I said, the world wealth has grown significantly, so many folds. Technology is doubling every 2 years. So things are moving at such a rapid pace, right? So I want you to make a decision with zero preferences. I'm gonna achieve my goals. We'll either find a way or make one. And to every single one of you, like I said, I'm living in this country. I'm going to support you in different tiers, probably through SLASSCOM, maybe. So this, like I said, it's not just a speech. So anybody who needs help, we have different tiers of a support system coming up to help you to really exponentially grow in the ensuing years, and look forward to that. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, SLASSCOM and Eranga and Eshini, who coordinated with me. And thank you so much for the listening. Wish you all the best. See you.
මගේ නම Ramindu Randeni. I'm a leadership coach කෙනෙක්, business coach කෙනෙක් සහ sports performance coach කෙනෙක්. Who are we before the world? මගේ channel එකට සාදරයෙන් ගෞරවයෙන් පිළිගන්නවා.